We have to have rules so that we don't fall victim and fall subject to outside passions that aren't really in our best interest. We have to have rules, structure, and guideline so that we don't fall complacent. Better men choosing to form your own guidelines, your own rules, your own structure that correlates with your values, your beliefs, your direction, the very place that you want to go, and remove yourselves from the restraints of society. This is the Better Man channel, where it is about challenging men to reclaim their sovereignty, reclaim their identity, and walk in their true nature. My name is Jaron, a guy whose mission is to discover the very nature of manhood and what it means, the responsible role, especially in today's modern age, of what it means to be a man, and how I can begin to implement the characteristics and tactics of masculinity to enable me to live a rewarding and meaningful, purposeful life. As men who are awakening to the bullshit narrative that society would have us follow, the conditions that they would imprison us and have mislead us to blindly follow just because that's how it's always been, I believe it is crucial that we begin to form somewhat of a structure, right? We all believe in the axiom that a structured life leads to a good life. However, as men that are waking up to this limited structure that has been placed upon us that actually constrains us, I believe many times we fight against that, right? Hey, no more rules, no more structure. I'm not just going to follow this because you tell me to follow it. I'm not going to believe in this set of guidelines because you're telling me that I need guidelines. And we run wild with this free-spirited ideal that, hey, no longer am I going to be told what to do, how to behave, what to believe, where to go, how to act. I'm a man and I'm free and I'm going to set my own course. And I applaud that. I believe in that. But too often we run wild with that, believing that the rules and guidelines are actually going to restrict us. But I want to argue that healthy guidelines, proper rules that are in accordance with our true nature actually facilitate growth. A structure, a set of guidelines that help lead us towards the path and the destination that we want to go. We have to have a goal, and then we have to have detailed directions and guidelines, rules, regulations that help us narrow or focus on reaching that goal. And I like to think of it as a person that's in training. That person can't eat this. They have to go to the gym for this certain amount of hours. They probably have to sacrifice time with friends, sacrifice this, sacrifice that in order to meet the rules and regulations and guidelines so that they achieve their goal. Now the rules, the guidelines that are in place are not to restrict them. They're actually to help facilitate the growth that will help that person achieve their desired goal, such as losing 30 pounds or making weight to be in shape to have that fight. He trains himself and he removes or sets in position these rules that removes this type of eating. He has to go to the gym these types of hours, in bed by this time. He places these rules in a position that enables him to reach his goal. The rules, the guidelines help facilitate and move him forward. So as men wanting to chart our own course, find our own direction, remove ourselves from the limited guidelines of society, we've got to begin to set in place healthy guidelines, healthy rules, healthy boundaries that are going to enable us to reach our full potential. Guidelines and rules that fit our values, our beliefs, and the direction that we want to go. We realize that structure is imperative. We've decided to remove ourselves from the malevolent and almost ill will towards men in this current state. We want to set in a guideline, a structure that enables us to become free men, sovereign men, reclaiming our autonomy. Then we have to have a direction that we want to go in, and then we've got to put in place rules, guidelines, structures that help us narrow or focus in the direction that we want to go. Or we are very susceptible to fall prey to outside passions and even become complacent. I'm a person that's dealt with alcohol abuse, substance abuse, addiction. And if I don't have rules and guidelines and structure in place, then I'm subject to fall back in to those passions and to fall complacency, right? A person will never get off the couch if they don't have a goal and rules that enable them to pursue other alternative methods to live life. We have to have rules so that we don't fall victim and fall subject to outside passions that aren't really in our best interest. We have to have rules, structure, and guideline so that we don't fall complacent. We're always moving forward. Our goals, our rules, our guidelines are to become a better version, a better version, a better version. And we push ourselves in accordance with our rules, our guidelines, while maintaining our honor, our courage, our discipline, our very manhood to not only contribute to self, but contribute to the peers around us that adhere to our code. We are men on a mission. We must have rules, rules of engagement that allow us to pursue a worthwhile life. I love you guys. You will hear from me next video.